back in it that went to the batteries and then cut out the switch used to cut out the circuit. And then we use it. But I use Yamaha has quickly that you can use, and also a variety of, you will handle a variety of terminals. But I use a quickly battery packs from the 1099 and other radios. The monumental batteries, the lithium-ion batteries for the 2200 came with a 1-volt battery charger. It does everything. It will charge lithium batteries, and so I use that one. But yeah, John's probably right. It's probably wouldn't work. And let's see, Fox is 192, the ASX is 8. The K is 0. First time the K's been 0 in many, many weeks. And that doesn't mean anything. It gets past at any time. Let's see. That Baofeng about your car getting squished, but you know, sometimes when something bad happens, it's actually good. If you use a part from that car to get your other one going, maybe that was what was meant to be done all along. So I hope that works out. And let's see, what else do I have? Oh. I beat you on the 6-meter mobile. You got the Master Pro. The thing that I've got, said it's 15 years. 15 years ago, let's see, I heard it probably the T1, the GE T1 that I got at a slot meet in 78 was probably 15 years old or 20 years old when I bought it. And to give you an idea how much of the history it is, it's a 2-channel radio. One of the channels is 52525, and it has a vibrator power supply. You plug the thing in, and you know, you hear it buzzing away like a bunch of 35. And a vibrator power supply, and the control head.
Was the guy who actually prosecuted Trump in New York. All right, Barry, so he worked for the district attorney's office. No, he was number 3 in line at the Department of Justice. Number 3 in line at the Department of Justice of the United States. And he took a role as a second or tertiary person in Alvin Bragg's office. Let me give you an example. You're the chief financial officer at Target. You're right behind the CEO.
Oh, cool. We got an example, too.
Marketing officer, and then you're right there. You're the third person in line. And Walmart calls. Hey, listen, we'd like to offer you a job. What's the job? Well, we'd like you to be the regional manager of the southern region. And at that point, you're like, but I'm the CFO. I'm number 3 here at Target. You want me to give up my CFO position and go work as a regional manager at Walmart? Yeah, I think it'd be a good downsizing move for you. Who would ever take that? That's what Colangelo went from being number 3 at the Department of Justice to working side straddle with Alvin Bragg in New York. I don't know what your corporate life is, but nobody does that. Nobody, especially at Colangelo's age and with his aspirations. There's no way he took a high-profile job and then went and slid into Alvin Bragg's DMs and said, you know what, I'll play second fiddle to you. I'll sidestrap you. No, it would never happen. Absolutely never happen. And
the communist takeover of America.
Matthew Colangelo became the Assistant Attorney General at the very beginning of the Biden administration. Without having been Senate confirmed, goes and gets this senior role at the DOJ, and then after, I believe it's Gupta replaces Colangelo makes this remarkable downstream career
other things you need to know tonight.
Downstream career journey. The guy was a pinnacle. He was at the Department of Justice. In America, if you're an attorney, that's like up here. It's being in the C-suite.
Mine did come with that old night ride, so it'll be interesting to open it up and see what it was after leaving the charge run overnight, what the actual final voltage was. You would think they would have put some kind of regulation in there. I mean, what a cheesy idea to tell you to turn the thing off and on, take the surface charge off the cells. I mean, what a way to design something. I mean, it's like an afterthought, like, we got it all done, it's all working, we're not going to spend any more money on any more stuff. Out the door it goes. But by the way, this is how you need to make it live. K9WT, N9KZI.
Yeah, I thought that was a less than cool way to do it. I would have expected better from those guys, but it could be that you figure well, I'm sure they hired some new guys to do that stuff. But it works, My voice is giving out tonight. But, it seems to work adequately, although it could be that with that arrangement, the batteries don't last as long as they would if they were managed properly. But, I think it'll work okay. They do have a pretty long battery life. The current consumption is not all that high, and the current, the ampere hour rating of the batteries you put in there are substantially higher than what would have been in there originally. So, you can let them go down to the point where the thing, I think it gives you a bunch of dashed lines or something when it's about to give up the ghost, and then just recharge it. Then you're down to the minimum, and then charge it back up for X number of hours, and that should be about as good a management as you probably need for a low charge rate. Yeah, I remember that Master 2 that you had. As I recall, you had that set up on the 53-110 repeater, and then also on 52-525. I remember with great fondness yakking with you on that thing. We got some pretty good range mobile to mobile out there in Indiana. Gabe, you remember Gabe had he had a 5/8 wavelength whip on the back of his truck for 6 meters. And he had a 100-watt rig in his car. I remember one time we were coming back from the Fort Wayne Hamfest, and I had about a 50-watt transceiver in my car. And Gabe and I were able to communicate. He left Fort Wayne and headed back to Dayton, to his place there, and I headed down to Indy. And we were able to communicate car to car 50 miles. And I thought that was pretty impressive. The Delta S is a really nice radio. I've got a couple of those around here, and did the same thing as you did. I picked these things up years ago, and I never did anything with them. We all wound up buying those Delta S's, and I think Joe was the only one who was. Well, I think Vic had one on the air, but Joe had one in his vehicle, and he had worked out programming tables for him, and had worked out some details for making some modifications to the VCO to get the free run frequency of the VCO pulled over enough that it would work reliably on 6 meters, and those things put out a whopping good, reliable 100 watts, and they had very, very good receivers. Frankly, I think the construction quality of the General Electric equipment was better than that of Motorola. There's nothing wrong with the Motorola stuff, but the GE stuff just always struck me as being, just a higher level of sophistication in terms of the construction. That whole master product line, of course, is now owned by Harris, or L3 Harris as it is now. And we were actually doing development on the Master, what is it now, Master 5 or something like that, base station down here. So that stuff still exists, although they don't make anything for low band anymore. It's all UHF. I think they make some VHF stuff. And then the guys in Rochester took the PRC 152 multi-mode military handheld radio and made a 30 to 512 megacycle multi-band radio for land, for commercial land mobile. They were sold mostly to law enforcement and emergency services. And that whole thing was in the wake of the 9/11 debacle, when all of these public service and emergency organizations and law enforcement organizations there in New York finally discovered, after all these years, that they couldn't talk to each other. And they couldn't talk to the military either, needless to say. So, they began to realize that it was a whole new ballgame now, and that, the firefighters and the ambulance companies and the police and all these different organizations had to be able to communicate with each other. And they wanted to be able to communicate with the military, so Harris was the natural company to do this, and so they made 30 to 512 megacycle handhelds that would operate from low band all the way on up. Actually, I think they would operate in the 800, 900 meg trunking ranges too. So I think they actually went well above 512. So it's a whole new ball game now, and Motorola really lost out on that. And I remember George Anderson telling me that he had tried to convince them that they should produce something like that, and they rather arrogantly said no. They didn't think there was any need for it. So Harris scooped them, and that was the end of that. Anyway, enough of my yakking. Back to you, Mark. KI0PF, K9WT.
Yeah, those are some great stories. And we're at the bottom. Anybody else want to sign in? KI0PF. Don't hear anyone. Well, I had several comments for several people. And let's see. First of all, that choke that you see on the back of the board is a common mode choke. It's a regular ballast core and a toilet core with about 10 turns of the coax around it. And I found that very much helped on the other installations, so I just included it in this one too. The idea is
Bob said it took forever to him get it all squared away with Xfinity. But anyway, I think I'm going to really try that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to call them and tell them this is what I'm going to do. Will you guys help me out in getting that in line? And they better say, yes, we will. And then I'll go out and buy it and get it hooked up so I can save some more money. I'm all for, saving money on utilities. I'm big on that, especially in the wintertime. I burn my gas logs upstairs, and I got a gas heater down here. I'll leave them on sometime all night, except I have to turn the one upstairs way down because it will run you out of this house. So anyway, but I've been saving a lot on electricity that way.
Yeah, for the most part, gas is a lot of times cheaper, and it goes back and forth, but, I did the same thing at another house I lived in before this one. We had a gas furnace, and I replaced it with a high-efficiency furnace, one of those ones that's built on a PVC line, and it pulls all the heat out of that flame that it could get, and that was really good once I did that. But anyway, all right, guys, we're up on another ID. Let's go ahead and get this taken care of. You're coming on board for the first time, indicate that, and give me your call slowly and phonetically, please. This is KD4 LRU with the Friendly Buds Conversation Group.
KB4ABJ, number 1 with the Friendly Buds Conversation Group.
Alpha Bravo 3 Bravo Delta number 136. K4ISG with a comment.
Anyone knew that, though? All right, nothing heard here. Back to you, Gary. Go ahead with your comment.
Hey, Roger, I was just reading about the AT&T outage. It seems like it was between AT&T and another carrier, you know, where people ride on each other's backs. And the problem was the other carrier did something, and AT&T dropped their calls, and of course the other carrier that was using any kind of AT&T side lost their just with that. But said they all, I guess they all got it figured out and shook hands and said, and they fixed it. Over.
Yeah, Roger, it's, you never know what's going on. They talked about some kind of outage a while back, and they blamed it on environmental conditions, and they found out that it was a field software update network-wide. And so that's, you know, they rarely tell us what's really going on.
Hey, Roger that. Also, I've been pretty much with all the different carriers and trying them out, and my latest I've been on for 5 or more years is Visible, and they're a part of Verizon, but it's basically, I think it's $25 a month for a certain level and 35, but I've been, like I say, and that's with taxes, so I've been with them forever. Visible, but they do use the Verizon network on it.
Yeah, Roger, I wasn't sure, you know, because you got, well, different carriers out there, like I said a minute ago, Consumer Cellular and T-Mobile, some of those different ones that use the other carriers' equipment, but I don't know where they tell you what that is. Which one do they use?
Yeah, if you look it up, you know, like if you've seen on TV the different ones, when you do a Google, it'll tell you who they're tied to the hip with, you know, T-Mobile, etc. And Visible, what they do, they cut out the stores. There's no stores you deal with. You have an app, you pay your bill, you've got issues, you go through the app, and basically that's the way it works. And I've been RVing all over with it, and it just works. And it, you know, of course, I have my opinion about the Verizon network, which I think is pretty good, but it's still a cost savings. A lot of people that I know that pay high cell phone bills, they went to Visible and they cut it way down, and that's, you know, that's unlimited. I got unlimited everything, hotspots, etc. Over.
Yeah, Roger, I've heard of Visible. I've seen their commercials or seen them online or something, and that's a good way to do it. Cut out the, you know, the stores and the other people that got shops and stores all over the place. Anyway, lots of different options out there. Just have to look around and see what works the best for you, I guess.
Roger that. Exactly right. I know it just works. I like to be able to talk when I'm running down the road, and I definitely need to use the internet hotspot when I park that RV somewhere. And so far, so good with the Visible / Verizon network over.
Yeah, Roger. So that's, I've had good luck with Verizon. I've had it through my work, well, as long as I've had a cell phone. So another question, where do you go RV?
Oh, man. Well, when I used to go a lot. I mean, we used to go all over the coast here, South Carolina, you know, down North Myrtle Beach, been all the way down to Destin, Florida, and been to St. Augustine, just all over, also the mountains, you know, doing the normal up in the Pigeon Forge, but here lately, because of my situation, I've been limited to do less, so.
Yeah, Roger, that's something I'm looking forward to if the Lord lets me do it, is do some of that when I retire. Bob and I both enjoy it, so want to get out and travel. Of course, being down in Georgia, you don't have to necessarily go south for the winter, but we're going to do some of that and just get around, see the United Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You'll enjoy it. I promise you, you'll enjoy it. We've been doing it for a while, and but I'll tell you that, of course, you've probably been down to Destin and on the, I call it on the blue ocean side of Florida. That whole area is beautiful, over.
Oh, yeah, definitely been there, and we did like it a lot. That's probably where we're going to try to go in the winter, somewhere down there on the Gulf Coast, whenever we get around to it.
Yeah, that Pensacola side and all over there, it's just, I mean, it looks like the snow. The beach is so white, and it's still pretty beautiful. And I've seen one or two military, where they have camping spots for the military. I've stayed down there. Of course, St. Augustine has a great place right on the beach. Yep.
Hey, Mike?
Yeah, Bill.
I sent them a thing about the DNF, and they replied back to me, says DNF is only used for specific type of noise or deep noise interference. Unless that is a problem you experience, I believe you have better success using.
pH on the water. That makes a very big difference. If you can keep that pH straightened up on the water, and then tea them once a day with some good bat guano and worm casings and molasses, and who knows what all else is in there. That'll make forth a very healthy plant.
All goes into the preparation.
The sluttiest looking thing you ever seen in your life, and she'll be like, ding. Look at that.
Say no thanks, I'll keep it behind.
The other box has the noise gate. That has a downward expander, and I find that's a lot more better than using the other one. Yeah, well, the switch is built in already, right?
It does to you, too. It's like, whoa, what's this? Yeah.
Of 800 PEP, and I'm whistling into this thing. So what I did was, I said, well, maybe if I start screwing around with the gain a little bit, that'll at least show the 800, but it didn't, so I don't know. I'm ready to take it off of Marketplace and think about it a little bit more. Like I said, to get into this thing, because you got to pull the tube chassis. In order to pull tube chassis, you got to pull the back panel. I got to pull the band switch rod. Then I have to unsolder the choke wire. It's a real pain in the ass to do, Jim. You wouldn't believe it. And then there's no wires here. Really even flip the thing. It's a pain in the neck.
Well, it just offers for a decent price. I don't know what you paid for it. You know, like me, I'm in a situation. I'm just too. It's kind of laziness, I guess. I'm just so freaking busy. I just don't feel like advertising anything. Offer it a decent price, and you'll see. Don't about it. Carry on, man. Carry on. If the band holds up on this end, I'll respond. K5CD in the bus. Good evening, WNIS. USA Chi-Town.
So they went and looked at anything that was a gun store or like a Dick's Sporting Goods, over.
Well, that was my curiosity. I mean, but now they even have to break it down to what itemized on your ticket. You know, if they can do that, they can tell if you bought a bag of tater chips. Well, you know, the grocery store tag identifies what it is, but most gun shops don't identify that you bought a sling or whatever.
It would have the SKU, the barcode SKU, and it would show what that device is.
Well, that's just print. That's just plain. That's just looking for a crime. I mean, you know, that's entrapment. Am I correct?
No different than Donald Trump. They were looking for a crime. Show me the man, and I'll show you the crime.
Nice. Well, maybe you tell me.
There are a lot of videos today. Look like college campuses.
That's kind of funny. I mean, you know, from this point on, I'll go to the ATM and pull out the cash before I go buy anything at a gun shop from this point on.
Microphone would say, what was he convicted of? What law did he break? And obviously not one single person, because none of us know. But isn't that enough to just kind of show you the guy was bamboozled?
Yep, but there's certain people that don't care. Unfortunately, I'm believing your dad is one of them.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't talk any politics with him. I can't. He's got enough problems taking care of my mom, so I'm just glad I don't have to take care of her. Now, with that said, Teamster, 35 years, he was somewhat normal. But, boy, when he retired, that was the end of that. He sat there in front of that CNN and MSNBC, and he was reprogrammed. KE880V.
Yeah, but they were showing a clip from CNN tonight, KKY, on Jesse Waters, where in 2020, the border was only 1% of the population's concern. But in 2024, it's the second highest concern to people that are polled. Number one is the economy. Number two is the border. And even CNN said, man, this isn't looking good for Joe.
I really hope that when Trump gets in, he gets the military after all these people and they all get arrested.
It would be nice if he would go on a revenge tour. But fortunately, when he's asked that question, he said, my revenge will be the success of America. And that is a great answer.
Yeah, I know, but that's the answer I want to hear in my heart.
Oh, I want him to put Bill and Hillary and Barack and Biden, all of them in jail. And Kathleen Kamala, Camel Toe Kamala.
Looks like she looks and sounds like a hyena.
Well, Robert, I got one comment about that. If he has any military left to
to run, because right now, have you seen that new article where they're talking about there's another article that they're implementing the draft again?
Yeah, that kind of floated around among some of us that, but they're saying all men 18 to, was it 18 to 28, 18 to 31, 18 to 32, something like that. But it didn't say citizen, it said all males.
And there you have it.
Henceforth a problem.
Pathway to citizenship.
And they want to take any rights of yours as far as weapons away from you and hand illegals firearms in the name of the United States. Oh, Lord help us.
Just don't comply. Tell them to blow it off their backside. They think they could just turn around, like you said, Robert, give guns to illegal. They're protected by the Constitution. The Constitution is for American citizens, not illegal, breaking into our country, immigrants, illegal immigrants. The Constitution is for us. And if they are going to tell them they have a right to, then by heck, by golly, they need to. And they can just, they can, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm not going to comply. I'm done. That's what I was saying. Normal people are done. That's, you're hearing that from people you would never think you'd hear that from. But I was at a graduation party, so I had a bunch of kids. These kids we've known since kindergarten. So they went to grade school together. Some of them went to high school together. And we were talking about the draft, and I just said, hey, if I was you, I'd have a ham radio, a couple guns, and I'd barricade myself. There is no way that I would go into this military right now with these people that are leading it. That's all there is to it. Put me in jail.
About what I said about a month or so ago about the Marines calling for my daughter?
No, you never told me that.
Oh, yeah. They called. I actually got the phone twice, and there was another time my wife was on the phone with them. The first time I talked to them, I told them, I can't say the things I said, I can't say on the radio because it's profanity, but I told them where the bear pooped in the buckwheat, and I told them, I said, there's no way in the world am I going to let my daughter go fight in the woke military where they push this transgenderism bullcrap. You go fight in another country's war and protect their borders while you guys leave ours wide open, and not only do you leave it wide open, you're calling everybody to come in, you're letting them in, you're bringing them in. And my daughter's not going. I don't care what you guys say. I mean, I really did it. And then he called another guy, maybe the same guy, called probably about 3 weeks later. This time I just chewed his backside out, man. I told my grandfather was a drill sergeant in the Marine Corps. I said he's rolling in his grave right now. I said he would not be happy to see this Marine are right now. And I think by the time I got done, I think that guy probably fiddled his pants, I'm sure. Because he started out and then he acted like he was all
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, did your daughter fill something out to get solicited?
Well, no, I think they probably had a list from her high school. I think that's what they did.
Well, there was a kid on my son's track team who ended up joining. He joined the Marine Corps, and I'm not going to say anything at that point, but it's right this moment now. In a couple months, that could all, my opinion could change. But as of right now, put me in jail. That's what I would tell. These young kids, because you got to go in there and you got Bobby turning into Betsy, and now Betsy is non-deployable. Get out of here! I don't want any part of that. Bill Clinton. I was young and I didn't follow any politics back then, but that whole don't ask, don't tell You know, unless you're going to say gays can't be in the military, don't ask, don't tell is the second best thing. And you keep that crap to yourself, and, you know, now you got these high-ranking officers dressing up in drag and posting selfies. Yeah, that's really, you're putting the fear of God in the enemy.
Exactly. They're just a bunch of wusses. I told all my kids that if you get drafted, just don't even answer it. Don't go. You're not going. That's my choice. I said, and if something, if I have to, I said, I'll tie them up and lock them up. They're not going. I already buried one kid. I'm not doing it again, especially at the women. A bunch of woke idiots. A bunch of, well, I can say this word because it doesn't mean female genitalia. A bunch of pussies. That is the root word to the word. Pusillanimous. Pusillanimous means cowardly, without spine. So they're just a bunch of pusillanimous. And I will not let my kids go fight. And there's nothing honorable about it anymore. And, you know, it was in any of the military branches, they're all gone woke, my kids aren't going to go fight in other countries' war, whatever we have. We have issues going on here. The military starts rounding up all the illegals and getting them out of here. All the invaders, all the illegal invaders. Round them up, get them out of here. I pay the tax dollars. Now those invaders, they don't. They can do that, then maybe we'll talk. But you know what? I don't have no respect for them anymore. The other thing my grandpa once told me, as respect is earned, you don't give it. They far from earned by respect. KCADHR.
Yeah, there's definitely different types of respect. You know, in the military, you get some instant automatic respect based on rank, but that's very short-lived. The real respect, like you said, is earned. Hey, Clint, let's take a quick break here. Before we go, there's a gentleman in from Maryland, Christopher. Before we see if he's with us, let me take a quick break and see is there anyone else that wants to jump in here that's been waiting to say hello. Come back now with your call sign. Nothing heard on this end. W4 November Romeo Golf, Chris in Maryland. Are you in with us? Nothing heard there. All right. Yeah, well, Clint, I don't know what the answers are, but I will tell you that I can see plenty of problems.
Yeah, I agree, Tony. You really don't know what to do now, right? You gotta wait and sit tight. Hope that things change. I mean, I don't think it will. I'm sorry, guys. You know, if they're gonna cheat again, they're gonna do what they want. I mean, I'm still gonna vote because they're gonna be active, but I'm putting all my faith, trust, and faith in it. I will say this, that, you know, in the first 24 hours, Trump raised $54 million in 24 hours. That, after his sham of a verdict, that treasonous judge, he's anything but honorable, so I won't call him an honored. He's anything but. He did nothing for the Constitution whatsoever. He had donated money to anti-Trump campaigns. Never Trump campaigns. He donated thousands to Joe Biden. Joe Biden. It's really obvious where he was pushing for. This guy is just Trump. That's all there is to it. We all know it. Everyone knows it. So, yeah. So, you know, wait. See what happens at the election. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. Hopefully things change, though. They need to. I can't believe they allowed this stuff to go on really.
Well, Clint, I'm going to throw this to someone else, but I want to throw this out here. Today, my dad sent me a link to a YouTube video about that 2,000 mules. So I watched the beginning of it. I got the gist of it. I Googled 2,000 mules, but I put a filter on to do recent postings. There were 3 pages of videos, supposedly, that Dinesh D'Souza, or however you say his name, according to these titles, he was apologizing for his video and he was going to pull it off the internet. So later on today, when I got back to the office, I looked up a couple things, and here, as far as I can tell, he's not pulling it off. However, he apologized because there was a lawsuit from a gentleman. I think the guy's name was Mr. Andrews. Mr. Andrews walked into a post office with a big sea bag full of ballots, and so in the movie they point him out and suggested that it was, ballot harvesting or, some sort of illegal thing. So he apologized because ultimately in that lawsuit he could not prove what was in that duffel bag. Fair enough. All right. So you settle the lawsuit and you apologize, but unless someone can tell me otherwise, I do not believe that they're actually pulling that video off and apologizing. It was Salem, was the communications group, the whatever you call that. But yeah, I don't know. That was a pretty cool movie, and a lot of it is still in the process of getting proved. But anyways, I wanted to throw that out there. If anyone knows anything, let me know. KE8 ADV, I guess I'll toss it over to you, Robert.
Hey, I'm just sitting here looking at the net logger. When we wrap this up, I'm going to go watch my DVR shows, and I have an appointment tomorrow for echocardiogram, so woohoo!
Well, good luck with that.
Oh, it's done a lot better. I mean, this medication, Entresto, is definitely helps the heart failure. I definitely don't have the energy I had when I was 50, but I'm doing okay.
Well, that's good, then. They literally just hook an EKG up to you, and that's it?
No, they do an echo. They put a bunch of KY on you. Every time the girl gets the KY out, I always go, oh, I didn't know what we were going to do. And then they give you that look. And they're basically doing like an ultrasound and listening to the heart and watching the love dove and all that stuff. They do it for about, I'd say 3 or 4 minutes, and then the doctor gets to read it in a couple days.
Well, that's pretty cool. I'll say my current medical theory is I'm going to stay away from the everyday doctor, because you go in and see them, they're just looking to find stuff wrong with you. But it's pretty amazing what some of that heart stuff that they can do.
Yeah, it has been pretty neat, and every 2 years I've got to get one of these to maintain my out-of-state CDL. So far, so good.
Well, that's good. Well, I don't think Roger or Ron's going to join us. I think they would have been on by now.
Yep, I don't think they're going to be part of their Tuesday night.
Well, in the next 2 weeks, without me telling you, I'm not going to tell you when, you're not going to know when, but I'm going to quietly switch radios and see if you notice a difference in the audio.
Oh, I'm sure the 991 will have a better audio. Yours is good that you're talking on, but the 991 definitely has a good audio. It's kind of an interesting little radio. It does a very good job.
Amazing, a little tiny radio can sound better than this thing.
I know, and that's basically, you're talking on an older model but a base station.
Yeah. And I know this isn't a, real fancy mic or anything, but you'd think it's better than a hand mic.
I'm amazed at how people say that 705. which is that little 10 watt, and then I stuff it in that portable amplifier, how well it does compared to my base station radio. And thinking about that, I ordered a couple 50 amp Anderson connectors, so that if you want to, we can put one of those larger gray Anderson connectors on that 950 power cord, so you could plug it into that Redodo battery, or I don't think yours is Redodo, whatever that 100 amp hour lithium-ion battery is.
Yeah, those Anderson are pretty good. You didn't have to buy any. I have a ton of that stuff. But yeah, that'd be cool.
That would do better than trying to put that radio on those smaller Anderson power poles. They're really not made to carry the current that radio wants.
But doesn't the 991 do the same thing?
I think the 991's not using near the electricity or the 12 volts that the one you're talking on now does. The older technology definitely was thirsty.
Huh, that makes sense because this radio does not like that Pelican case battery, the one that I almost melted. But it does fine on Big Mama here.
Yeah, I didn't know you had spare ones, so I was on a website called the Antenna Farm and ordered a handful of them.
Yeah, I have a problem with ordering pieces parts. If I need one, I order 5, because you might need one someday.
Well, I was thinking about installing one on your radio, and that's exactly what I ordered was 5, because that left me 4 spares, which is an even number.
Oh, so you're even a little weirder. You have to have an even number.
That's right. The thermostat on the house is set at 72 or 74. The cruise control is set at 66, not 65 or 70, or not 75, 76. But if I'm only going to be doing 10 over, I'll set it at 74, so it's an even number.
Freak.
Go ahead.
Freak.
Oh, freak? Yeah, just a little bit. I think the proper term is obsessive compulsive.
Disorders.
Syndrome, because I complete tasks.
I was going to say, you have way more problems that I can help you with. KE880B.
Yeah, but I'm fine.
T4 is the HP.
I still can't believe
Robert.
it. I know Clint has offered me to drive all the way up to Michigan, but I still can't believe that ham group that's going to have field day that I've offered that nice generator and all the fuel has not come back and said, sure, let's work something out. I'm amazed.
Yeah, me too, Robert. KC88.
Robert, we didn't talk about your waitress today.
I know when you weren't there, she was kind of warming up and talking about her silliness. I bet 20, 30 years ago, man, she was a wild woman to hold on to.
Am I imagining this, or was she bragging today about her bidet and how she uses it a lot?
She was talking about how she likes her bidet, and I'm sure she likes getting her hoo-ha squirted.
Man, these places you take me. That's a family restaurant, too.
Yeah, but look at the girl that was sitting there with her chocolate milk hanging out.
I have to say I did see that. I didn't know what to think at the time, but, you know, who am I to say that larger women need to wear a bra? It's not me to say.
I really wanted to say, hey, Julian, look over to your left.
Some guys didn't wear a bra. Clint, this was like National Geographic. Hey, you ever heard that song from Rodney Carrington, Show Them the Beat? Maybe. I can't remember offhand. Well, I'd sing it for you, but I can't. Hey, I gotta go, guys, but that guy's hilarious. Rodney Carrington, I really like him. Oh, I know Robert. I know you would really like him a lot, too. He's that kind of humor, that's for sure. Well, you guys have a good night. I am getting tired, and I've got to get to work in the morning. I've got 2 jobs I'm running, so you guys have a good night. 73, God bless. I'll talk to you later. ACA.
All righty, Clint. I know Tony wants to wrap it up, too. Christopher in Maryland said in the netlogger he can't talk now, but he appreciates the call out. So, Christopher, thanks for jumping in. Jesse, thanks for jumping in, and we will see you tomorrow night. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, one more thought before you run off, Robert. Can you tell me if Eagle Pass in Texas got handed back over to the Federales?
I've not heard that Eagle Pass has been given over to them. The last I've seen, and it's been kind of quiet, is it's still under the Texas National Guard.
Okay, well, hopefully it will stay that way. Yeah, there was some kind of story that came across XM today, and I didn't get to catch it all, and I was curious. All right, well, anyway, Clint, up there in Michigan, Tony, K8ADV, and you yourself there, Mr. Robert, K8KY, and whoever else is in there, everybody have a blessed evening, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. KG Sports, VXC.
We'll look forward to it. Tony, I'll let you wrap it up.
All right, guys. Well, if Ron Rogers listening, we missed you. And I guess is tomorrow Thursday already?
No, tomorrow's Wednesday.
Oh, tomorrow's Freedom Night. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually going to bump it up to 82 real quick and check things out. And I'm going to shut it down. So we'll talk to everyone to hear everyone tomorrow. KE8, ADV, 73.
All righty, I'll go up to 82 with you so I can hear what it sounds like.
Same here.
KHL wildly clear.
comment. Got something they want to talk about. Trying to wait for that time. Bobby, you got a relay on it?
Yeah, I do. The station trying to be with the friendly bunch here. Give us your call again phonetically. Your audio's a little bit low. Okay, Kilo Delta 9 Whiskey, and what was the rest of it? Okay. I got Kilo Delta 9 Lima Whiskey, is that correct? Okay, y'all lose you at the end. I don't know why you're fading out on me. But anyway, I think I got it. Is it Lima Delta 9 Lima Whiskey Whiskey? Oh, I think I got you now. Is it Kilo Delta 9 Whiskey Lima Whiskey, correct? Okay. I don't know why it was, but every time you'd say at the end there, you just kind of faded down a little bit. But anyway, welcome to the friendly bunch. I'll see if our controller's got you. Have you got Kilo Delta 9 Whiskey Lima Whiskey Go?
Yeah, I got him plugged in that logger. That's Gary up in Gordon, Illinois.
Welcome to the friendly bunch, Gary. Yeah, I think, let me ask you something, Gary. Are you vertical, by the way? Oh, yeah, I see why. You're on an end fed, okay. That's two antennas that I really have a hard time with the fading is, and fed, and also if you're vertical. I get a lot of fading with that. But anyway, welcome to the group, and I'll turn it back over to Joe, our controller, and let him see how he's copying you. Joe, are you copying him pretty good?
Yeah, I got the last part of his call there when he was trying to check in a minute ago, Whiskey Lima Whiskey, and up and down, it is a little noisy here. I'm sure from where he's at, he's probably got the same thing. Gary, you copying me okay?
He's got you, Joe.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry, Gary. I lost you a little bit on that one, but stick around. You want to give a shout to somebody you've heard or whatever on the, let us know. We'll get you in. Anybody want to reach out to Gary?
I do one more time.
Go right ahead.
Hey, Gary, that end fed that you got, is it close to the ground or what there? I'm just kind of wondering because I'm just trying to figure out if it's the band or the antenna. I'm not sure, but if it's close to the ground, that can really cause a lot of fading, too. Just wondering about that. Oh, okay. Well, that'll happen if the antenna's really close to the ground with us, but anyway, I know you probably going to work on that some and try to get it up maybe a little bit higher. Okay. All right. Well, my noise right now has actually went down. It's like 5S units, but that's about where you're at, 5S units. And anyway, I know that you just these antennas are very, very important. I always say this: if I had the chance, if I had to choose from having a big amplifier or a good antenna, I would pick the antenna any day of the week, because you can't talk to people that you can't hear, and the antenna that we got is relatively big. It's a full-wave loop, 59 feet per leg, which is that's not a full wave on 75 meters. But if you add like 20 feet of ladder line, then then you've got a full wave on here. And that's the neat part about this antenna. It's got a horizontal part of it and a vertical part of it. So it's you get the best of both worlds, the way I see it. Back to you. Still with us there, Gary? Okay, good deal. All right, I'm going to turn it back to our controller. Let him see who else might want to jump in here and talk with us. So, anyway, we're here every night, by the way, Gary. We're here every night from 7 o'clock until 11 o'clock, and I know you guys are an hour behind us, so it'd actually be from 6 until 10 your time. But anyway, you're more than welcome. We're pretty easy going, of course, and they got an open-ended type format where you can get in any time. Just got to throw your call out there, and the controller will recognize you and let you have at it. So anyway, and I see it's your very first time with us. Certainly good to have you. With that being said, I'll get it back to Joe, and it's ID time at the bottom of the hour. Back to you, Joe.
All right, Bobby, thanks for picking him up. He's lost him completely in my noise. But anyway, guys, it's 10:30 here. Like Bobby said, bottom of the hour. Let's go ahead and get this next ID done. Coming on board for the first time, give me your call slowly and phonetically. We'll get you on our list. This is KD4LRU with the Friendly Bunch Conversation Group.
KB4ABJ with the Friendly Bunch Conversation Group.
K4ABB.
Was there anybody new that time? All right, nothing heard. We got 29 minutes to go here. Anybody got a comment, question, want to talk to somebody you've heard? Go.
I'd like to talk to Grant again.
Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, Grant, did you go out this morning to see if you could see the planets?
I went out, that was yesterday morning. That was, I went to bed at 3:30. I woke up at 5:15, went out to the backyard, took a look up at the sky, and I had full cloud coverage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember you saying that. Well, they'll still be up there, It might be a little bit later in the morning or something, but, as long as it don't get into sunlight, you can see them.
Yeah, it's right before the dawn, just before when the sky starts to get that kind of bluish look to it. That's when you can see them. But we've got clouds, and more clouds. This is probably going to be a train of clouds here for the next month.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, you'll catch a break there. We got to remember about that comet. That it's going to be a naked eye. You can see it with your naked eye. And that's coming in the latter part of September, and October the 12th, I believe, is going to be the closest it's going to be to the Earth. That's where it's going to be the brightest. So anyway, there you go. And that means we're going to have a lot more shooting stars and stuff, because that's where they come from. People don't know this, but all these, when we have all kind of shooting stars early in the morning, it's from the tails of comets. Different comets leave a debris field and the Earth just kind of rotates into it, and there your comets are. So, shooting stars rather. So, yeah, Grant, that's coming. I can't wait to. I'll probably pull out the scope for that. Although it's not the greatest thing to look at. I mean, it's kind of boring to me. I'll probably start looking at other stuff for sure. I need to get it out and, see if it's okay. It's been sitting back there for a long time. Too long, actually. So I need to get it out and work with it.
Yeah, I just ordered me another laser collimator. I figured I'd get the rough collumation done with the eyepiece and then do the detailed stuff with the collimator, the laser one, because it kind of really gets it dialed in perfectly. And I don't think there's any point in looking at a comet with a telescope. One, it's, like you said, it's kind of boring. You can see just about as much of it with a good pair of binoculars.
Yeah, I mean, all it is you're going to see like a star with a tail behind it, and just a ball of ice that's melting when it's getting too close to the sun. We'll never see it again in our lifetime, though. Some of these comets, like Halley's Comet and all that, come around every 70 years or so. So you're basically going to see a lot of these comets once in your lifetime. You'll never see them again because you won't be here unless you're going to live to be about 140 years old or 150 years old. Then you won't be able to see it all anyway. So I'm just picking. Man, can you imagine living to 150 years old? I don't know. I think the Lord knows that we don't need to be around that long.
I wonder how long it'd make you work if you lived to be 150. Would you have to work till you're 130?
The way it looks, I guess. But, I mean, our workforce now is not even, you wouldn't believe the job. I could get a job tomorrow if I wanted to.
Yeah, same boat here, yeah. But it's all specialized. It's all very specific stuff.
There's a sheriff's department that's begging, absolutely begging for people to join their force. I actually could do that.
Yeah, they're offering enlistment bonuses here for certain departments. But I'm too old for that. I've been down that road before. No thanks.
I know. I got a friend that works for the Virginia State Police, and his back is terrible. He used to be drug enforcement. And he says, Bobby, it's from me dragging these guys around and handcuffing them, throwing them to the ground. I threw my back out. So anyway, he's a character. Now he's a CSI guy. He got out of the drug enforcement stuff, and now he goes around and does reenactments of crime scenes, things like that.
Yeah, the biggest problem today is there's just no bureaucratic backing. They hire you, tell you, give you a badge, a gun, and the authority to do something, but they don't give you enough training, in my opinion. But then they cut you loose, and then when something happens out there, the first thing they do is throw their hands in the air and say, "No, you're done. We don't want any part of it. You're on your own."
Well, not only that, you do something and you think you're doing the right thing, and they end up throwing you in jail because you maybe shot somebody you shouldn't have, or arrested somebody or was too rough with somebody. All kinds of crazy madness can happen to you when you put yourself in that position.
Yeah, what people don't realize is that what happens on the street between a perp and a cop usually is within 3 to 5 seconds. Everything happens that quick. And these guys sit in their offices and they say, well, you might have should have done this and you might have should have ought have done that. Yeah, how long have you been thinking on this? You got all the time in the world, no pressure, no stress, nothing going on. Everything's just copacetic. But when you're out there in the street, it's not that way. And you got to make decisions. And that's why they got to make sure they hire the right people and not just anybody.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Plus, they really don't get paid a whole lot, really, in my opinion.
No, not relative. When you think about the responsibilities they do, and the more responsibilities they're getting these days. But TV doesn't help either when they dramatize everything the way they do. They make it look like every bad guy is going to get shot at or shoot somebody, and there's a whole culture out there that has been brought up to believe that it's a certain way when in fact it's not.
Yeah, I watch Chicago PD, and they'll catch some guy, and they really need some information badly. I mean, extremely badly to close the case. And they'll lock them up in a cage, and the sergeant, head of the special group there, he'll go down there and beat the tar out of the guy to get information, and he normally gets it, you know.
Yeah, that might have worked in the 20s, but not today.
I know, but it's funny how they dramatize that part of it, you know. I think it's bad in a way because it makes some of these people that wants to go around and do bad stuff, it enhances them because they know there's bad cops out there and they think they can get away with stuff and blame it on the bad cop.
Yeah, and then you got people out there that just don't think that they have to comply, that they got constitutional rights. Yeah, well, they apparently haven't read the laws because they're arguing facts. You can't touch me. You can't do this. You can't arrest me. You can't blah, blah, blah. You know, they go on and they make a big deal of it. Well, then the whole situation gets ratcheted up about 2 or 3 degrees because this person's gone ballistic and turned into a Karen. You know, and it's just there's just no support out there anymore. People, no respect. And a lot of it has to do, I think, though, with the kind of people that they've been hiring over the last 20 years, maybe 30 years. And instead of getting the right people, they're just getting people.
Yeah, my friend with the Virginia State Police with narcotics, he said, see this big pile of folders? It was about 3 foot tall. I kid you not. He said, this is from last year. This is stuff we haven't even got to yet. He said you can arrest them today and out on the streets before you get off duty. He said that's the sad part. He said some of these things, the law is written in a certain way that we can go 7 years or 10 years, even more than that. Going to make an arrest, we got to dot all our I's, cross all our T's. If we make one mistake, it'll blow the whole thing. He said that's why we really have to watch what we're doing every single step of the way. And that's why they got the body cams too now. Anyway, but law enforcement, I tell you, they have a rough time. I know it's ID time. You can turn it back to Joe, okay?
Yeah, very good, Bobby. Yeah, back to you, Joe, for ID.
All right, guys, good conversation, and agree with everything y'all said. My dad was a police officer, good part of his adult life, so he would not, he couldn't survive. He wasn't the kind of guy that could, I don't think he'd make it today, but anyway. ID time. Let's get this knocked out. This is KD4 LRU with the Friendly Bunch Conversation Group.
KD4ABJ, number 1, with the Friendly Bunch Conversation Group.
K4GKG.
N3ABB. NHKW.
Anybody new this time?
NHKW, new here.
Heard an N8, is that right? One more time, sorry.
November 8, Tango Alpha Whiskey.
November 8, Tango Alpha Whiskey. Got you. Oh, Rod, up in Michigan. You're sounding good here. How you doing?
Oh, very good. I was listening to your conversations about a comet or something. And
yeah, the guys are talking
I'd like to know
about
what comet you were referring to, because that's very interesting for me and my son. We just started getting into astronomy. I picked up a telescope. We both had from an estate sale, and just starting to use it. And it's kind of late for me getting interested in astronomy, because I used to visit my relatives way up in Sudbury, Ontario, which is kind of north of Lake Superior. And the skies there are really black, really dark, and you can see absolutely everything. I think in the States, the equivalent would be something like New Mexico. I heard down there the skies are very dark and black, so you can really pick up and see things. And, you know, around where I am, I'm in Michigan, just about 20 miles out of Detroit. And it's not too good here for looking at the stars. You have to get out in the country, really. But as far as you can get, you know, certainly the better it gets. And so that, I just wanted to make that comment. I thought that was interesting hearing about the interest in astronomy. This is NATAW.
Comment.
All right, Ron, yeah, I was going to turn you over to Bobby anyway. I knew he'd have something to say about that, so go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, the comet is called something strange. It's called Comet 12P Brooks. That's Ponsbrooks. Has to do with the observatory in Hawaii that has been watching this thing, and it's supposed to be the brightest in October the 12th. It's going to be the brightest. It's going to be a naked eye object in the sky. You want to use telescope. I mean, you can, binoculars or whatever. I just don't think comets they don't do nothing for me. I'm too sorry. But I like to look at nebulas and star clusters and some planets every once in a while. They can be awful strange. But, yeah, if you go to space.com, they'll tell you all about it. That kind of thing. But it's going to be one of these comets. First time that they've been, being recorded. First time this one's one that you probably will never see in your lifetime again. A lot of them are like that. So it's like Halley's Comet. It won't be here in another 70 years. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, we do astronomy, and my friend down there, he just got a brand new telescope. I've got a 11-inch Cassegrain back there. It's got an onboard guiding system and all that on it. So I've been doing it for, probably 10 years. But my scope's been sitting back there 2 years or more. I haven't had it out, and I should be ashamed of myself because it's a very expensive telescope. Anyway, back to you.
That's very good. I wrote that down, space.com. I'm going to look that up and check that out. And, yeah, it's interesting. As you go through the year, there's different things that appear. And I don't really have any favorites because I'm just learning it, really. Right now, of course, I'm picking the easiest thing to look at, which is to look at the moon. And that's been a lot of fun. And as we get to figure out this telescope and figure out astronomy a little better, we'll be looking for other things. So, yeah, it's just, it is a great field. We went to a local club. It's an astronomy club, and these guys got a lot of great stuff. And, of course, the club itself had really fantastic telescopes. Some of those really giant Dobson-type, 12-inchers and things like that. And some giant refractor, too. We looked at one, I think it'd be something like $30,000 or so. If you were to buy it 30 or 50 or to buy it new. And it was an older one, they picked it up many years ago, and I looked through that, and that was really interesting. And, of course, computer control, like you described, that's really fantastic. So it's really a great hobby, especially if you get all the high-tech stuff on it that can really help you out. Over to the net. This is the number 8, Tango Alpha Whiskey.
Yeah, the actual comet name is, I'll spell it, it's Tango, Sierra, Uniform, Charlie, Hotel, India, November, Sierra, Hotel, Alpha, November. How do you pronounce that? And anyway, Atlas. And it's going to start coming into view in July, but it's going to be closer to the Earth on October the 12th. And guess where we're all going to be? We're all going to be up in Sparta. We can always walk out and take a look at it. And I would not even try to attempt to bring my telescope up there. I'd have to disassemble the whole thing, and wow. And you got to watch them because you got to take care of your mirrors and stuff too. So there you go. But comets are just nothing to look at. I mean, my neighbors come over here when Hal Bott was here in the 80s. And they just wanted to see it because it was featured on CBS News and NBC and all that. And they just had to see it. And I said, okay, we'll look at it. And we looked at it, and I said, let's look at something else while you're here. And I turned it over to the Orion Nebula, which is the most photographed object in the sky. And they thought it was cloudy. I said, no, that's not clouds. That actually is stars. They couldn't believe it. Can we see something else? I said, yeah. I pulled it over to a star cluster, and it just kind of blew their mind. So ever since then, they wanted me, well, their kids are gone now, but they always wanted on the weekends to bring out the telescope and look at this, look at that. And we did. We had a blast with kids. They love to see stuff like that. And I'm glad your kid is involved with that. Speaking of being involved, we have a kids' night every Saturday night at 8 o'clock. If your kid would love to get on there with the other kids at 8 o'clock on Saturday. And it's run by kids. We don't touch it. We just stand by and let them do their thing until they give the frequency back. But it's a great time and all that. And we have a great time up at the mountain too. If you'd like to come, I know you've been in here before, but if you'd like to come, it's going to be October the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And if you go to the AIM window, there's a link to our website, or go directly to the website if you'd like. It's thefriendlybunch.net. And if you click on under events, it'll tell you all about the mountain get-together. So there you go. Back to you.
That's all very good, and yes, I've checked in before, and I've heard about your mountain retreat there. That really sounds nice. Yeah, like I had mentioned, I used to go fishing up in Roseville's cabin way up above Lake Superior, and I knew the night skies were fantastic. I mean, I didn't, like I said, I wasn't really into astronomy. But I knew enough to know that when I went out at night, I could see a lot more. And I used to go out in their fishing dock frequently and sit there with binoculars and a beer and look up at the sky and the darkness, and I could see everything. I didn't realize how dark it was until we started studying astronomy, because that is considered nearly perfect in terms of darkness. And I was seeing shooting stars all night long. I could see the full Milky Way galaxy. I could easily see, this is all just with binoculars. I could see satellites going by, and it was just really wonderful. And it's funny how I didn't appreciate what I was looking at completely. And I had relatives up there, none of them were into astronomy. And they were, what can you do way up in northern Canada there? It's cold all the time. And they got their fishing and hunting and ice fishing, and which is all great, but they're in an optimum place for telescope work. And even in the local town they were in, the town of Sudbury, that was still very dark. And it just was wonderful skies to look at for that view. And that was the first place I saw the Northern Lights. I remember sitting up there and seeing these curtains of purple and blue come down, and how I didn't know what I was looking at. And until it just dawned on me, oh, these must be the Northern Lights. I heard about them all my life, but I never really seen them. And then I recognized what I'm looking at. And those things would go on for a long, long time, day after day. So it was just a wonderful experience. I haven't been back there in many years because the family has passed on, the property got sold, and that sort of thing. But it's always back in my memories of what beautiful nighttime skies can really look like. I really consider it a privilege of just my memories to remember, to see all that, and still see it in my memory. So back to the friendly bunch. It says November 8, Tango Alpha Whiskey.
Yeah, we got ID, but that's great. Yeah, that's perfect for a telescope for sure. The dark skies is a big key to it also. But anyway, get it back to our controller for the last ID of tonight. Back to you, Jeff.
All right, guys, again, good conversation. That's definitely fascinating. And flew past an ID. That's all right. We'll get it out of the way. This is KD4. LRU with the Friendly Buds Conversation Group.
KB4ABJ, number 1, with the Friendly Buds Conversation Group.
K4 GKG. Negative.
So, Bobby, you guys were talking on that go around, and I was just looking here, the different, more regular and famous, I guess, or well-known meteor showers that we see, the Perseids and the Leionids and all those different ones that, happen every year, and the comets that go along with them. So, like he said, space.com was that website. So I guess you can look up all those different comets and find out, where they are, when they'll be back, and all that kind of stuff, I would imagine, right?
Oh, yeah, we got a contact. Yeah, you sure can. And a lot of people don't know about the shooting stars and stuff. Well, all that is the debris from comets, and they match up with the comet. Like Halley's Comet's got their own debris, and Halbot, on and on, different ones. I don't think Halbot's going to come back around again. We won't be alive, but anyway, you got a comment or something. I think it's Greg. I'm sorry, Grant.
Yeah, it was me. I just want everybody to know that there was a comet we had this month, actually. Just June 4th was the day that it got the closest. They call it the Devil Comet. And it was kind of in a green hue. But we never got to see it here. I knew about it, but I had cloud cover. Matter of fact, I think I mentioned it on the Friendly Buds before, back in May sometime. I might have mentioned it. I don't remember now. But yeah, we just had one come by here June 4th, the Devil Comet.
Comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right, the Devil Comet. I didn't go out and see it. Actually, I just forgot about it. But yeah, you did mention it, and I looked it up, and sure enough, it was going to come in June. And they got comets. It's just like plants. You can plant a plant, and it'll come around, and every annual summer, it'll start growing again. And comets are the same way. You can have them come around every 10 years, 15 years, every 70 years, every 100 and whatever years. They got them timed out pretty good. They just can't predict the brightness, because what really brings out the brightness is how close they get to the sun. And the closer they get to the sun, that's the brightest they're going to be. And by the way, I forgot to tell you guys something, especially you, Grant. Betelgeuse is going to implode on itself. It's a red dwarf. It's what they call it. See, the stars up there, they're the real white looking. They're the hottest, and the red ones are not. So it's gonna explode in space. It probably already has, but see, it's so many light years away. It probably exploded maybe 50 years ago, and we're just seeing the light right now. I know that's hard to imagine, because when you look out in space, you're actually going back in history. And depending on how many light years an object is out there is going to determine, when you're going to see the light from it. So that Betelgeuse probably exploded hundreds of years ago, and we're just seeing the light. Grant, so back to you.
Yeah, they just had a NASA report on they observed what they believe to be a supernova. And it occurred, millions of years ago, well, maybe not millions of years ago, thousands or hundreds of years ago. And it just got to us now, the actual light from that explosion. It was pretty cool to watch, but it kind of went against the grain of the scientific community's general thought. The same thing with black holes. They're finding out now that with the good telescopes that black holes aren't following the accepted rules that they were supposed to be following according to physics. But it'll be interesting. We'll see what else they come up with in the next few years with this high-tech observations that they have out in space now.
Yeah, the James Webb Telescope, the scientists are having to rewrite the the books on the space and everything. They're discovering things, and matter of fact, they discovered something that they have not released to the general public yet. So that'll probably leak out. I can't wait to see what it is. But yeah, Beetlejuice, I used to use it as a direction for my onboard guiding system. I have to use 2 stars, and I'll push a button when I got them all zeroed in, the 2 stars, and they'll say warp 5, warp 2, warp 1, and the lowest warp speed, like warp 0, then you're dead on. And so that means that I can take my telescope and put it on an object, and it'll follow it, and it will not fall out of the scope. It'll follow it forever, how long I want it to. But yeah, Beetlejuice is going to be gone. And like you said, maybe 100, 150, 200 years ago, I got to read up on it more, is when it exploded, and we're just seeing the light now. It's just amazing what space is out there. It's just beyond our beyond our comprehension. I don't think we can even comprehend exactly what's out there, but it's just mind-boggling. So anyway, I guess Grant, have you got anything else?
No, that's about it. I think I'll clear with you after you final, and we'll go back to Joe for the final.
Okay, we'll turn back to Joe. It's about that time, and thank you, Joe, for letting us talk. And I really love space, as you probably can tell. Back to you.
Yeah, I'd work that out. That gets you kind of excited. That's all right. That's good. And that James Webb, I was trying to think of the telescope they were using the other day. They found a planet. I don't know where it's at or how far away it is. I can't remember. But they said it was very Earth-like. It was in a temperate zone around a star and, all that kind of stuff. And they said that, that planet could possibly support life. And it's interesting. We don't know what's out there. And I guess that's better. There's only one person that does. And hopefully I'll see you someday. Anyway, guys, it is 11 o'clock, and it's time to shut down this session of the Friendly Bush Conversation Group. Appreciate everybody that checked in, everyone that came by and commented. All you guys in the conversation, it's always good to hear you. And I will turn it back to Bobby to let the cat out, and I'll say 73 all around. KD4, LRU, QRT.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. And, there's a planet, and this was just on the internet, and I don't know if it's true. Individual brought it up, said that the Webb telescope, here's the secret, found a planet, and it's actually got like lights on it, like our planet. And they showed a picture of it, but I don't know if that's true or not. If that was true, then I think it would be all over the news networks that they actually found a planet with life, some sort of life form on it. I don't think it's true yet, but anyway, it's a lot of real estate out there. And only our Lord Jesus Christ knows what's going on, believe me. It's just that's the fact. And anyway, we're going to get out of here. Everybody have a blessed night tonight. It'll stay on the cool side of the door, 72 degrees. Oh, boy. Anyway, we're probably going to get rain here in a minute, the way it looks on the radar. No thunderstorm, but rain. Anyway, I'm going to turn the deadbolt, cut out the light, scoop up the big kitty cat, toss the cat in bed and go to sleep, maybe, and we'll catch you guys later. KB4ABJ, number 1 with the Friendly Bunch. We're clear and good night.
God bless our troops and our first responders, K4, GKG, QRT.
Golf Bravo. Good night, and 3FHN.
and Al. Good evening. Good night, folks.
All right, good night. Yeah, we'll see you, John. Janusz.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Always a solid. Never used the machine. They was always hand stitched.
I never seen her use a machine.
Not being able to wipe your own butt. Maybe that's why they invented bidets.
Either that or, you know, have you ever watched some dogs, they get in a sitting position and they scrape their ass on the ground?
Yeah, but that doesn't work too good if you have an apartment with tile floors, you know. Not enough abrasion. I guess you could get a carpet or something and put it down and get it, but you know, you still get the Klingons. It's probably 50-55, you know. And, you know, because I was still living around this area, working at the factory. So, yeah, it was 50-55, you know, around there. But, yeah, saw his son the other day. He recognized me. I didn't recognize him because he was just a kid, you know. But, yeah, it was nice to see Andy. He's got his father's name, you know, and I asked how Andy was doing. So now he passed away. And I figured as much. Usually people that are paralyzed like that in a wheelchair, they don't last long. You know, 2 years and that's it. I guess because you don't have the movement, you know. Everything kind of slows down in you. You know. Well, it was good to see old Red today, by God. I'll tell you. I thought he was dead. Red is not dead. WA1HLR, WL7B. He's got to be close to 75, 80 now, at least. Almost 75. Oh yeah, me too. You know, I'm not prepared anymore, but you know, I'm definitely still doing stuff. At least I try to. I think I can. You know, I just hope this whiplash doesn't come back. You know, from my car accident last year, like it did last 2 weeks ago. I've been taking these prednisone. You know, I'm on a dose of those, and it feels pretty good now. You know. But once I get off the prednisone, who knows what's going to happen, you know, if it's going to creep back into my life again. So, hope I can ride a motorcycle with a helmet again. Jeez, that would suck. You know, I really enjoy that. And, in fact, I got to check. I'm bidding on a new motorcycle for myself. So mine was kind of totaled in the accident. And I found one I like, so I'm gonna hopefully win the bid. See what happens. Yeah, I should have got a coffee while I was upstairs. Maybe not. 11 o'clock. I'm not really tired. I got up early. I got up at 4:30. I'm going all day. I think I'm just psyched. That's all. You know, who knows? My sleep pattern's all messed up anyway. You know. It seems like I don't need much sleep anymore. I don't know why, but you know, it's not drug induced. 30s, you know. Oh God, I'm surprised I made it this far. WA1HLR, WL7B. Okay, very good, Bruce. Last thing, when you're younger, you figure you're going to live as long as you can live, and that's it, and hopefully you'll live a long time. And for me, 75 years old is a fairly long time. I thought you were talking about you lived to, 104?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Sure did. Pretty good. And she had all her marbles still. That's the amazing. But she used to walk, though. You know, it was nothing for her to walk 20 miles and go get something in a neighboring town and then walk back home. She was always walking. In fact, as she got older, you know, she was my neighbor, and then right next door, she used to mow her lawn, and she had a really nice, real, you know, a push mower, but one of those, you know, ones with the round blades that spins, you know, and you push it, and the grass comes out the back. It was a Scotch. It was an expensive mower. I think that mower, I remember seeing in the store, it was like $160 for a manually push mower, and you know, she'd be out there mowing her lawn, and her son would be sitting on the chair, and people were getting mad because, why aren't you mowing your mother's lawn? She was a Greek. And he says, she won't let me. You know, I'm just here to watch her, so she's, you know, something doesn't happen. And, yeah, old Angie. I remember when I was a kid, I found her husband in the driveway. He had a massive heart attack and died. I looked over here, and he was laying in the driveway. I said, my parents are long over there. Yeah, there he was. He was dead. Yeah. Yeah, she used to, her and her husband, years ago, they owned the Palace of Sweets in my hometown. That was before my time, but it was a candy shop. Very popular. I guess they had really good candies. But it got wiped out by the flood of '55 here in town. And I was born in '56, so I never got to get any candy from the Palace of Sweets. But she was a real nice lady. A little small Greek woman. She's about 4'2".
Oh, yeah, a little feisty one. Well, probably if you pushed 100 or so, she probably shrank by a few more inches.
Oh, yeah. I would say so. Well, you know, I went digging around in the basement. I took a bunch of stuff already out there as Arizona once, you know. So I went downstairs trying to find one of my Weller soldering guns. I know I got about 4 or 5 of them. I probably took them all out there. And the only one I could find, Tim, was a Weller Junior. What a cute little gun. It has blue lights on it. Let me go up to this. Very old. Let me put my glasses. I'm curious. It's a really cute one. It's in beautiful shape. It hasn't been dropped, so it's not all cracked, you know. They all get dropped at least once, and then the black case gets cracked on them, and you get out the black tape, and you tape them together, you know. You've been there. It's got a nice tip, too. I must have tinned the tip, because, you know, when I put it away, it's got a nice shine to it. Yeah. It's even got 2 lights on it, 2 headlights to see what you're doing. I wonder if it heats up, though. Let me see. Hold on here. I'm going to do a test. Well, it's got a hum to it when I put it to my ear. Let's see if we get a little smoke here. Yeah, let me see. I put my tongue on it. No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, yeah, she's a heating up. Oh, good. I can finish putting this coax connector on tonight. What a cute thing. I probably picked it up at a tag sale. Every time I see one of these rare goods at a tag sale for, like, you know, I won't pay more than $5 for one. And I buy it. And, you know, because these damn things, they go for like $50 now, these stupid soldering guns.
Is Weller still in business to buy a Weller slobbering gun that's made in the U.S. today?
I couple newer ones, and I never really looked when they were made. They're not the quality of the older ones, but they got the name on them. You know, they give you a nice case for the kit with some solder, a little soldering tool. What the heck else do they put in there? Something else. No, they usually put a different tip that you can cut plastic with or something. That must be interesting. Fumes, cutting plastic with heat like that. What, to get cancer? So that's takes a long time. And in fact, in this case that I put it in, I just put like 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow, I think that's a brand new roll. Look here. It looks heavy. It's a brand new roll of .03 diameter Kessler solder. The alloy SN96. It must be lead, I think. Lead SN?
I don't know what the designation is of SN96. I used to think the usual was 60-40, and now 60% tin, 40% lead.
Well, it's not rosin core, it's solid core. You know, solder. Solid railroad solder. So it's a full roll, though. You know, not really very good for electronics. It doesn't have the resin, you know, rosin. Let's see, equal, stars are equal of the flux core stars of quality. I don't know, maybe you got I'm not going to do that. Oh, this one there. Yeah, I got 4 rolls of solder in here. This one looks good. I don't need much anyway. I need about 1/4 of an inch to solder this center conductor down on the TL259. And I even remember to put the sleeve on before I solder it on. How many times have you done that in your life, Tim? Forgot to put that little metal thing on there, and then you solder it on there, and you're sitting on the bench. Done it more than once. I try not to do it anymore, though.
Oh, there's life in here.
Air